It's our classic, that's right, Volkswagen Golf 2003. It's probably one of my favorite cars in the yard, but it's a love-hate relationship, I'm not gonna lie to you. And it has what we're gonna call a severe, yeah, that would be accurate, severe power steering leak. And I'll just, come here. So I've got it up on ramps. We're gonna block the back tires so it can't, you know, crush my diaphragm. Crawl under, and I'm hoping what we'll find is that one of the rubber, I think they're called return lines, is the part that's to blame. And it just, you know, announced its retirement effective immediately, and we can just change it. No, that probably what it is one of the hard lines on the rack, I think you call it. We're gonna start it up. I put some fluid in it. It won't be long finding it. There's the drip. Now to find the leak. Found it. It is indeed a hard line. Had some good news to report. Number one, the pump works. I know this because it was spraying from that line. I know the video shows a slow drip, but that's because it emptied the reservoir practically immediately before I could even put the camera on it. More good news, I don't have to work on cars tonight because, well, I don't have the parts. So change my clothes and I get the evening off. And we'll get back to this when we do. What other good news? Oh, easy to find, super easy. And other than being desperately cramped under there, shouldn't be too hard to change. Silver linings, right? See you soon. Somewhere under there is a set of lines that look like this, if memory serves me right, from months. Yeah, that's right. Ago. So I got a series of picks and pliers and screwdrivers and, you know, things I can crawl under and lay on top of and poke a hole in my shoulder with. And we're just gonna crawl under and have a look. So we're gonna take these lines right here out. Oh, need a socket right there. Is it a socket or is it an Allen wrench? I don't know. We're gonna find out. Didn't bring one of those. And then over here, that's a clip that looks like it's about ready to come apart. Sure. And then I don't know what's on the other end. So we got to get rid of this shield. As it turns, yeah, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, real fun. Okay, there's clip number one. Shockingly, it's not all rusted out. It came off of right there, and I was able to knock it off of there. You know, lose it down in that hole, fish it out of there with a magnet. So we're gonna put it there in our little magnetic tray because we're gonna need it later. Okay, I was able to lift that line out. You can see it right up in there. But there's gonna be a little rubber seal in that hole that somehow, some way, I gotta get out of there. So I got a bunch of little picks and we're gonna go digging. See if we can fish a little seal out of there. It'll be fun. Mystery solved. That fitting up in there on the top of the lines, yep, in my case is a T30 Torx. Cleaning it out, getting it to move was a real cost. I can only turn it about 1/8 of a turn at a time with lots of clearance. It's probably 9 inches long because that's the way my life goes. But it's moving, so I'm not going to complain. It's not stripped. Everything's going just fine. We won't talk about all the other fittings that are all bound up. I expect when I take these off, it's going to drain power steering fluid all over me, which should be super pleasant. Well, it's not going to be 9 inches long, so hopefully I can take that out. Drop that in the dirt where I'll never find it. And then ideally, take some sort of tool, like, I don't know, maybe this pry bar, and just tap that right there to get it to move. You suppose that would work? Probably not. Probably got to break something important. Let's find out. Oh, look at that. Off she comes. Man, if it was any easier. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. Okay. Good enough. We'll pry those out of there in a minute because right now they're keeping the fluid in. She's all pried out, and as predicted, here comes the leak. So that's no big deal. We're gonna go fishing, see if there's a rubber grommet in that one, or seal, or whatever the heck it's called, with my little pick tool as this stuff drips on my chest. Look, there is one in there. Look at that. Can you see it? It just fell right there. Maybe. Yeah, there it is. Let's see if there's a seal in that one. What do you think? Feels like there is. Sure does. Right there. Can you see it? There it is. Sure, drop it in there. Don't need it. We got some new ones. This one. Right here. Right here. And it's just going to be a real curse. That's what I can tell right now. So I got power steering fluid on my chest. Perfect. Let's move out of that way. And that's just going to be... It's just going to be a pain. So we'll figure it out. Okay, here we go. It's been determined after much unnecessary frigging that this shield needs to be removed to accomplish getting that clip off. So 13 mil, 3 bolts. It should be 4, but my 4th one's broken through, so we're gonna snap this off out of the way. In case you hadn't found that 3rd bolt, it's back here, just so you know. Real easy to see, real easy to get to, lots of room to work. Actually, there's more room on that bolt than any of the other ones, so I guess I won't complain. Well, that didn't go so bad. I dropped the ratchet in my face and ran power steering fluid in my armpit, but otherwise we're good. Well, there's the clip right there. And may I go on the record and say that I definitely did not take the claws of this hammer and hit it down like this to get it started. I wouldn't do that. That would be irresponsible. There we go, right there. That was hard fought. Okay, if we pull that out, we'll drain all the fluid out of the rack right on my chest. There we go. There it comes, perfect. There's the end of it. Throw it over there where I'll lose it for sure. We're gonna get a pick tool somewhere here. Yep, I've gotta have one, the one that's not stuck in my hip. Let's go ahead and fish that seal out of there like that. Here's the thing, I'm kind of tired and I want to eat supper. And when I get that way, I get, what's the word, less careful and I break things. And the new lines were expensive and hard to find. Roslyn Industries, I think it was called, out of Nova Scotia, Canada, sources them. It was one of the only places I found them on the internet anywhere. So good luck with that. We'll put them in later. A day or so and change-ish later. I had to stop. I was going to break something. I was getting tired and grumpy. We're going to go under. We're going to finish this job. I was told you couldn't buy the lines, and I found them. I was told you couldn't do it with the rack on the car, and so far I have. So if I can get these installed, we're doing all right. We're going under. Here, now this one is the short one. It goes in right there. And I put the seal on it because I suspect that's the only way I'm going to get it seated and keep the seal clean. And once it's in there, then it goes in right down there. So I'm going to need both hands. Everything's seated where it should be. Probably there'll be power steering fluid spraying everywhere here soon. Line number 2 goes in here. On that side. Yep. And then over here, you can see it just about off camera. It goes in there. Perfect. 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 I also don't love this, so we're going to swing that corner just a little bit before we put this one on. So let's just find a spot, lay this on my belly. we're trying to do is flatten that clip out so the corner isn't touching the other line. Because I don't want anything vibrating a hole in the new lines, because this is a real pain in the butt. Okay. Okay. Make sure you're wearing your favorite shirt when you do this job too. You know, it'll help keep things comfortable for you. There we go. There's that right there. You see it? Is it lined up? I can't tell. Just hit her extra hard and everything will be fine, right? Sure. Yeah. How are we going to do that now? Isn't that special? See, this is probably why they tell you to take the rack off the car. Are we working on getting there? We might be. Feelings would tell us we are. That ends in. Perfect. We're gonna go up on this side and work up in there again. Perfect. No big deal. Everything's fine. Just fine. Okay. That goes on this way, same as it was when we took it off. We're gonna take our little bitty annoyingly small bolt. It's made for my kind of hands. Nothing to see here. Alright. Now, where's the ratchet? Oh, had the ratchet. Goodness gracious. What about an extension? Suppose that'd make things easier at this point? Probably not. Seat though is in there. Sure. That looks right. Yeah, why not? What's the worst that could happen, you know? Don't ask that question. And don't you answer it. Okay. Yep. No idea what the torque spec on that is, so don't ask me. Okay, now, I'll show you something. I'm probably gonna break something. This right here. I don't like that because things wear. So we're just gonna create a little space. That's it. It's like a brake line. It'll move a little bit. You know, and you'll know that it's too much when it snaps off. That's how you know. And then same thing, you see right there, how there's no clearance there. We're just gonna create a little bit. And again, you'll know when it's too much, when it breaks. That's how you'll know. Don't say I didn't tell you. It's all right, they're only $95 for a pair. Good enough. That one's in. That one's in. Got a little bit of space going on. We might have her. There, that's better. See? Yeah. Didn't even break it. So now it's power steering fluid. Start it up and just watch it spray everywhere. That's what's going to happen. Yep, I know it. Don't say I'm not optimistic. Let's top out this power steering fluid reservoir that has long since been empty. If I got enough fluid. You know, I probably don't because it's dry, and this is what I got right here. And somebody's going to read that and say, no, that's not the right stuff. That's not Volkswagen stuff. But, you know, whatever. It's all going to be on the ground in a minute. Arguably, I overfilled it. Remember, the pump's going to take some. The rack's going to take some. There's still air coming. Here we go. Okay, here it is. Nothing squirting that I can see. How about you? Perfect. So we're going to let that exhaust get good and hot, and then we'll put that shield back on. We'll burn our hands while we do. we're gonna put the exhaust shield back on, which should be super fun. 1, 2. Ouch! Yep, it's hot. And there should be a bolt on the other side, but again, we've covered this. It was broke off, so we're just gonna put this on with these 3 so it can rattle and drive a man nuts. Try to figure out what in the world we're hearing all the time. Should be just fine and pleasant and wonderful. Should absolutely stick my hand on that exhaust for sure. We put the power steering fluid in it. Nothing sprayed in their face. The exhaust shield's back on. We're all done. Now, they told me you couldn't buy the lines. Found the lines, bought them, got them here. They told me you had to buy the whole rack. I did not have to buy the whole rack. And they told me the rack had to come off the car if you were even going to attempt the repair. Also did not have to do that. So, found the lines, new lines, rack still in the car. Power steering works. You might be able to do it. Just saying. Or not. I don't know you. Anyway, if it helped, hit the red button, do all the stuff and the things. My teenage daughter tells me I could buy a coffee someday if you did. Thanks.